Students, in the last class we discussed about introduction for the plant growth regulators. Right. Coming to this class, we are discussing about specific phytohormones. Means the very first phytohormones are auxins. Right. So today we are going to discuss about the auxins and the history of the auxins and the properties shown by the auxins and the functions of the auxins. Right. See, the very first one is the auxins are the weakly acidic hormones. See, auxins, these are the chemical compounds which having the acidic nature, very weak acidic nature. Right? These are not strong acidic compounds, which are weak acidic compounds. And we know that the high concentration, because I said so many times, I'm expecting here. Within nutrient media, high concentration of auxins are there with support for the shoot elongation. See, high concentration of auxins supporting for the shoot formation or the shoot elongation. Right? Low concentration of auxins supporting for the low concentration of auxins supporting for the root formation. Root formation. See, what I am telling here exactly opposite. High concentration of auxins support for the shoot formation, supporting for the shoot formation, and low concentration of auxins supporting for the root formation. Root formation, very simple. Here I given that single side means one side statement here. High concentration of auxins supports the shoot formation or the shoot elongation, and high concentration of auxins inhibits the root growth or the root formation. See, we know within the tissue culture process, this is the tissue. In the tissue, if we take in high concentration of auxins, that high concentration of auxins are supporting for the shoot formation. And again, we are changing this this one or this plant into another nutrient media. That nutrient media contains the low concentration of auxins. So already here shoot part is there. If we change into the another nutrient media, if it contains the low concentration of auxins, so this one is supporting for the root formation. So by this way, within the tissue culture, presence of high concentration and low concentration of auxins, we are forming that shoot and root parts of the plants, right? And the first discovered phytohormone is the auxin. In the last class also we discussed the very first discovered phytohormone is the auxin. See, the discovery is done by the F.W. Wendt from the human urine. See, we know about the human urine. Within that human urine, the auxins are present because our body contains the tryptophan amino acid. The tryptophan amino acid undergoes the degradation process. During that process, the auxins are produced. So human urine also contains the phytohormones like urine, right? And Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin, both the scientists did the oat coleoptile. See, in the last class also we discussed one of that coleoptile part is there, oat coleoptile is there, that coleoptile showing means the coleoptile bending towards the light direction, so that one is called as the phototropism. Any plant responded with that light or growing towards the light direction, that one is called as phototropism. Phototropism exhibited presence of phytohormones. Especially remember auxins. So phototropism exhibited presence of auxins, right? So phototropism is nothing but see, when the plants are growing, normal growth is there. See, we are in the last class also I said this is one of the coleoptile part and unilateral elimination process, right? Lateral elimination process, right? This is the light. Then the tip part of the coleoptile bending towards the light, bending towards the light. So see, that kind of effect is called as the phototropism. That kind of effect or that kind of property is called as the phototropism. So Charles Darwin and the Francis Darwin explains regarding to that phototropism, right? And coming to the next one is the biosynthesis. We know, just now I said one of the amino acid present within our body. Not only in our body, in plants also there is a tryptophan amino acid is there. That tryptophan amino acid contains the indole ring. The tryptophan amino acid contains the indole ring. Remember here maybe tryptophan we are taken or indole ring contain derivatives. Indole ring contain derivatives. Source, right? Maybe the tryptophan is a source or indole ring contain, okay, indole ring contain, right? Derivatives are the source. So here there is a zinc is required, right? Manganese is required. Zinc is required and manganese is required, right? So presence of indolistic, okay, IAA oxidase, right? Indolystic acid, actually this is the name, right? So IAA oxidase is the enzyme. Presence of IAA oxidase, oxygens are produced. So here the direct name is, the direct type of oxygen is IAA, right? IAA is one of the best oxygen, right? So that oxygen is produced by the IAA oxidase enzyme, right? So IAA is the universal oxygen, means any plant we are taken, all the plants contains the oxygens. Okay, majority of the plant contain type of oxygen is, okay, IAA. Majority of the plants contain the type of oxygen is the IAA, right? And see here produce at root tip. Generally we know whatever the plant pods are there, right? So there is a shoot tip is there and root tip is there. So the shoot and root tips are produces the oxygens. The shoot and root tips are produces the oxygens. So here we know this is one of the, okay, this is one of the shoot tip, and the shoot tip produces the oxygens, okay, involved in the elongation process. Sir, how these are transported? First, suppose this is one of the plant part, right? Here this is the shoot. Okay, this part produces the phytohormones. The shoot tip part and the root tip part produces the phytohormones. This is the shoot tip and this is the root tip. So the tip parts produces the phytohormones. So here, see, within the stem, basipetal movement, the transportation within the stem, okay, the transportation is basipetal manner. Basipetal manner means from top to bottom, okay, transportation of oxygens will be takes place from top to bottom side. The oxygens transportation is takes place. So that kind of movement of oxygens is called as basipetal movement. That kind of movement is called as basipetal movement, right? Here example is the stem. And coming to the next one, acropetal movement. Within the roots, acropetal movement. Acropetal movement means from, okay, lower side to upper side, or from bottom to top side. So that movement is called as acropetal movement. Simple concept here. See here oxygens are produced, transported in this direction. Here oxygens are produced, transported in this direction. So this direction is called as basipetal movement, and this direction is called as acropetal movement, right? So there is a stem is there and roots are there which are involved in the transportation process. And all of you remember this one is called as polar movement. See, generally these oxygens are transported by the polar movement. So what is polar movement? For suppose here oxygens are transporting from one cell to another cell. Here oxygens are transported from one cell to another cell. See, the oxygens are transported from one cell to another cell. The transportation is, okay, done by the active transport mechanism. So from one cell to another cell, if the oxygens are transported by the utilization of energy or low concentration to high concentration, right? The transportation, okay, is called as here polar movement. The transportation is called as polar movement, right? So here I said here three types of the transports. One is the basipetal movement, right? Other one is the acropetal movement and the polar movement, right? That is about the transportation process. In all these, the polar movement is the very important one, right? And next one is the synthetic oxygens. Here, synthetic oxygens, these are the synthetic oxygens which are synthesized within the laboratory, because majority of the farmers are using, and in the research process also the phytohormones are using, right? So for the better crop and for the expansion of the leaf size and elongation of the stem size. So in some of the nurseries are there, within the nurseries also these phytohormones are using, right? Especially the auxins are using, right? So here NAA, naphthalene acetic acid is there, that is one of the one of the synthetic auxin, right? And 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, right? See here mostly the phenox is the common one, right? And 2,4,5-T, see T, 2,4,5 trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. So I said here the phenoxy is the common one, here dichloro, here trichloro, right? And TAA, phenylacetic acid. TAA indicates here phenylacetic acid, right? So that is about the some of the synthetic oxygens, So these are the main points which are related to that oxygens, right? And this is the history part, and this is the transportation process. Okay, this is the transportation process, and this is the biosynthesis, and these are the synthetic oxygens. Right, next one we will discuss about some of the properties of the oxygens. Here coming to the next one is the Avena curvature test. So this is one of the bioassay. Sir, what we are doing here? See, whatever that oxygens are there, the quantitative amount of oxygens. Okay, we are explaining here. Explaining means here we are not counting the concentration of oxygens in a coleoptile, but we are estimating the effect of oxygens within the coleoptile. See, we know whatever the oxygens are there which are produced at the tip parts. One is the root tip, other one is the shoot tip. So this is the coleoptile. We know the coleoptile part is responsible for the production of the shoot part. So we are collected some of the coleoptile parts, especially these are vote. We know vote coleoptile, right? These are vote coleoptiles, right? See, in that case, we are doing here whatever that coleoptile. This is one of the coleoptile. So the coleoptile, okay, the tip part. This is the tip part. The tip part is responsible for the production of oxygens. So here, this is one of the unilateral illumination process. Unilateral illumination process means, okay, we are providing the light. Yeah. Providing the light. The light is only falls on one side of the coleoptile. The light is only falls on one side of the coleoptile. This is nothing but illumination of light, lateral side of the coleoptile. So once the light illuminate on the lateral side of the coleoptile, so towards the which side the light is illuminated, that side, okay, the coleoptile part is bended. That side, the coleoptile part is bended. Very simple. Whatever that coleoptile is there, okay, the coleoptile bended towards the light direction. We already discussed it. This is nothing but phototropism. Phototropism means growth of the plant or growth of the plant parts towards the light direction. Sir, why this one is bending towards the light direction? Remember, this is one of the other side. See, this is the illuminated side. This is the shade region. Within the shade region, oxygens are accumulated. This is one of the shade region. Within that region, oxygens are accumulated. Once this side, oxygens are accumulated, right? So automatically the coleoptile is bending towards the light direction. light direction. We know about the sunflower, right? So here the sunflower towards the sun, always towards the, okay, sunflower face always towards the sun direction. Remember, this is the very early morning. This is the very early morning sun, and this is the sunflower, right? So this is the back side, right? Whatever that stalk part of the sunflower is there, this is the stalk part. So here oxygens are accumulated. Always oxygens are accumulated within the shade region, right? So here sun is moving like this, the flower also moving like this. So here in this way, whatever that shade region is there, within that shade region, the oxygens are accumulated. The oxygens are accumulated. So that one supporting for the movement. That one is supporting for the movement. That's the reason why always the sunflower, okay, face towards the sun, or sunlight, right? So here also same thing. Whatever that coleoptiles are there, which are moving, okay, the growing parts are moving towards the light direction, right? See, this is the one of the decapitation case. Decapitation is nothing but, this is the coleoptile. The coleoptile is cutted. The tip part, the coleoptile tip part is cutted, right? Then here also we are eliminating the light. Here also we are eliminating the light. So we are also here eliminated the light, but here there is no bending. Here there is no bending. Sir, why here no bending? Why here no bending? Remember here, whatever that tip part is there, the tip part is responsible for the production of oxygens. The tip part is responsible for the production of oxygens. So whenever the tip part is not there, right? So there is no production of oxygens. There is no production of oxygens. There is no phototropism, or there is no bending. There is no bending. So this is the one of the evidence. This is one of the evidence. Presence of oxygens. The plants showing the phototropism, or the coleoptiles are bending towards the light direction. So tip part is there, oxygens are there. Tip part is not there, oxygens are not there, right? And this is the second case. Sorry, this is the third case. This is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one, right? In that case, we are already cut it. Whatever the tip part is there, the tip part we are already cut it, and this is one of the agarose gel, right? Between the coleoptile parts, we kept one of the agarose gel. So we did the elimination process. So presence of illumination and presence of agarose gel also. The coleoptile part showing the bend, or the coleoptile part bending towards the light direction. So here concept is, through agarose gel also the oxygens are transporting. Okay, oxygens are transporting. So the tip part is produces the oxygens through the agarose gel, right? Gel bead. Okay, through that part oxygens are transported. Finally shows the bending. Right? So that is about the third case. And all of you, and next one is the fourth case. See, this is the one of the coleoptile part, and this is the light illuminating site. This is the light illuminating site, right? So if we kept one plastic mica part, if we insert one plastic mica part, right, towards the light direction. See, this is the light side, light illuminating side. We are inserted one of the mica part. So here automatically the bending takes place. Remember, we are inserted one of the mica part. See, where we are illuminated the light, exactly that side. Okay, that side we are inserted one of the mica part, right? This is the one of the mica part, right? See, when we eliminated light, see here the bending takes place. Here the bending takes place. See what this one is indicate. Simple. What this one is indicate. Here the light direction side, light illuminated side. If the light illuminated side is affected, see that one not affect the bending process. Simple. See, we are inserted mica, light illuminated side, right? Even though presence of mica, right? The plant coleoptile part shows the bending. So this mica part incision not affect the bending of the coleoptile. And second case, this is the third case, this is the third case, this is the fourth case, and this is the fifth case. This is the fifth case. See, this is the coleoptile part, right? And this is the light illuminating side. Right? So in this case, if we insert the mica shaded region, see, this is the light illuminated side, this is the opposite side, this is the shaded region, right? So if we insert the mica shaded region or opposite to the illumination region, right? Here no bending. In this case, no bending. The coleoptile part not shows any bending. Because I already said whatever the auxins are there, the auxins are accumulated within the shaded region and responsible for the bending of the coleoptile part. So if we inserted mica here, okay, this mica incision not affect the bending process. But if we insert the mica at shaded region or opposite to the light illuminating side, so this one affect the bending. This one not affect the bending, and this one affect the bending, because within shaded region the auxins are accumulated, and that auxins are responsible for the bending of coleoptile. So this is about that Avena curvature test, and this is also haute coleoptile test. This is also called haute coleoptile test. Very first one, simple, elimination process, bending. Second case, decapitation, no bending. Third case, presence of agarose, right? So bending takes place. Fourth case, insertion of mica, okay, light illuminated side, okay, it's not affect the bending. And the fifth case, insertion of mica shade region, right? So here affects the bending process. So this is about that bioassay process, right? And here we are finally saying the effect of auxins, bending of coleoptile, right? Next one we will discuss about the physiological functions of auxins.